Hello, hi, hello everyone, hi Facebook, hello, this is Meet the Maker and it's Friday, so which means I get to interview someone exciting today. Today I'm actually interviewing someone I think has a really amazing story about how it's like a real life story for me of how she actually pursued the life that she loves, or what she really wants to do, her why. And the story of that journey was something that just told me, yep, I've got to interview her. You've got to listen to this story and you've got to meet her. So I'm not going to speak anymore. I'm not going to say much more, and I'm just going to introduce you to Kimberley.
Hi, this is so fun.
This is so fun. And we're like matching today.
I know, it wasn't planned, guys.
No, because we both happen to love blue and that's just our color. And, well, we're currently today in Kim's home and office. This is your office. Mm-hmm. And I'm loving the office and the vibe. Well, I just need to quickly show you, because I love this. Camera the other way around. This is your life. Do what you love and do it often. If you don't like something, change it. If you don't like your job, quit. Love it. So that's exactly what we're here to talk about today. And this is the pool, and we were just talking to we were talking about how great, like how wonderful and relaxing it is here, and it's just got a really nice vibe. I love it.
Yeah, love it.
Right. Okay, so Kim, tell us about yourself. Like, where did you grow up?
Yeah, okay.
What did you study
just
at university?
A little brief.
Yeah, just a little
okay, hello. So I am from the US, if you can't tell from the accent.
Whereabouts in the US?
So born in New York City, grew up in Connecticut, cool. Right next door.
Yeah.
Lived there till I was 18, and then went off to university in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
Decided I was like, okay, I love politics. It's an awkward time to be saying that. Don't worry, the story gets better.
Oh, yeah.
But,
that's next week.
But, yes. But, yeah, was just wanted to go into politics and kind of diplomacy, and then so went down there, went to a really good school, and then midway through realized I wasn't into it, so ended up switching my major to sociology and communications. And then somewhere along the line, I decided PR is maybe for me.
So why did you not like politics? So you were doing politics.
Oh, okay, yeah,
what
sorry.
Told you
okay, well, it wasn't so much of politics. I was always attracted to, like, I think the world and traveling, and that was really what it was, and just different people and cultures. And I didn't realize that until I took an anthropology class, which was one of the basic required classes for a freshman in college, and then I loved the class, and I was like, this is amazing. It was a social anthropology class, and I just thought the teacher was fantastic, and so I realized, like, I was interested in that crossover of people and culture and what that meant and how everyone interacts and is in groups, and so I just started to explore that and be like, okay, wait a minute, I'm studying the wrong thing. This is actually what I'm interested in. And so then that's how I ended up in sociology, and then minoring in communication, and I loved it. I took so many really interesting classes that I still remember some of the teachers, like, just really incredible, and it was really fun, and I loved just learning about people, and
Oh, I wish I did that at uni. Like, you made me want to go back to university.
Well, my dad was always like, why are you not studying business? So I went rogue, but other sibling did that.
That's
so
fantastic.
It's fun.
Okay, so then you came out of university studying something you absolutely loved. And then what?
So I came out of university, but I think towards the end I started to be like, it's like, I'm not gonna, like, go be a sociologist.
Right.
But then I did a bunch of internships, and I still did some political internships, and I'm still interested in communication and people and all of that, just not, like, straight up politics. So that was kind of like where PR started to make sense to me. I thought, it was like, that would be good, like, working with people, different brands, different companies.
Personal.
Public relations. Public relations. So I thought that would be a cool, fun thing to do. And I ended up moving to the UK, London.
How did you end up moving to London?
That's a longer story, guys.
Okay, so it was romantically linked.
It may have been a little romantically linked,
cool.
But I was, young, and I was like, well, this, it was,
love it. Okay,
yeah. But so I figured, so I just
ended up in London.
Yeah, so I ended up in London, and I was looking at programs. I didn't know really what I wanted to do, and actually, like, I love traveling, but I didn't get the chance to study abroad when I was at university because I had changed my major from international affairs to sociology kind of late in the game, so I had a lot of classes and credits to make up for. So yeah, I wasn't able to study abroad, so it was all of that as well. I was like, I really want to live abroad and have that experience, so that was really tied into it. So I ended up finding a master's program in London that I could do. That was in PR, which was really great.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really great because it was 1 year, which I was like, sign me up, because a lot of similar programs in the U.S. were 2. And I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that's the thing about the U.S.
Yeah. So I was like, sign me up for 1 year. Great. It was really fun. I learned so much, and there were people from all around the world in this program because it was in London. It's such an international city. Yeah. So that was so great because I met people from like Iceland and Mexico and Italy, and you know, there's some U.S. people there, and obviously English people and Scottish and everyone. But it was just, you know, like fun. I was like, and it was so great. And then so I graduated and then continued to work in PR and had some internships and liked it, and I worked for a couple different companies, and then I got a job at the company I like always really wanted to work for since I was when I first started. I decided I wanted to work in PR. I was like, oh, I want to work for this one place, and I started working there, and over time I realized like it wasn't for me. It was that kind of the really high stress environment, and I just ended up not taking so good care of myself and not feeling good, and it didn't align, and I started to feel like maybe like it's a good job and people are amazing at it, and I mean PR people are some serious girls and guys, like they like can get stuff done, like they're really good.
And it's a lot of clubbing and partying.
No, I mean there were a lot of drinks, but I think that was just because we were like in London, to be fair. But it wasn't so much clubbing, but it was a lot of it sounds glamorous, but it was a lot of just like late nights in the office, but fun because then you order food with all your coworkers and just hang out. But
it's a bit like auditing, really. Not really.
But I mean, I just started to, it didn't feel like it was the right thing for me. Yeah. And rather than staying longer in something that I didn't feel like was right for me, and I really was getting sick a lot and not taking good care of myself and just not exercising or eating right, and it was just not good.
And how many years was this in?
Well,
or how long?
Worked in PR for like, I guess like a total of 3 years. Which I guess isn't that long, but, you know, I realized...
It's long enough.
I realized, like, you know, I like, totally respect the profession, but for me, it was just, I don't want to waste time doing something I know I don't want to do just because of a fear, right? A lot of people, like, wouldn't quit because they're afraid, or they don't know what to do, or they don't know what's next, and there's all this stuff about the unknown, and I think a lot of people definitely thought I was crazy, but I knew in my gut that like it just wasn't for me, and I didn't know what exactly was for me, but I knew that staying in the situation I was in it wasn't gonna help me, and I needed to remove myself from it, and it was definitely one of the best things I've ever done.
That's amazing. And then what happened? So you quit your job without any plan in mind,
which is like not really a good idea, and like don't really do it. It's just like my particular situation. I was just I honestly was getting really sick all the time. I was exhausted. Like, it was, I just knew what I needed was to, like, I'm a big fan of people having side passion projects and, like, slowly doing things. But I'm the kind of person, I just ripped off Band-Aid.
Yeah, that's like me.
Which,
so we're similar.
Which is, like, pros and cons to that approach. Absolutely. But yeah, so I quit, and then I was living in the UK, so I ended up traveling a bit more around Italy for, like, a month. And then I... came back to the U.S. With my boyfriend.
Okay.
And
from London,
and we were back in D.C., which like city I knew because I went to school there. And we were there for like 6 months, and he had a secondment. Secondment. So like we were, they put him up in a house, and then I sneakily okay.
It's a long time ago.
But I didn't know. I had no idea what I wanted to do, and I felt like, what am I gonna do? What do I want? Honestly, it wasn't like I suddenly quit my job and was like, gee, I know exactly what I wanted to do. There was a lot of like, maybe it's PR but in a nonprofit, maybe it's PR PR in some other way. So there's a lot of that. And
but
then
you knew it was to do with people.
I knew it was something, well, I guess I didn't, I mean, at the initial thing, I don't know, I didn't know. I was just like, this isn't working, so like, let's find something that is. And then so I spent a lot of time thinking about, okay, what are times in my life that, like, I felt my best? Like, what was I doing? Who was I with? Like, what was happening? What do I enjoy? Like, what did I enjoy when I was younger? Like, and so a lot of the answers to those questions for me, came back to, like, being around groups of women and girls, and like just like my childhood, and like I went to this all-girl summer camp and it was really fun, and like just these group experiences. And then one of the other things I mentioned was, so I've been getting really sick from like just working in PR and the hours and stuff, and so during this period I also just like refocused on my health, and like I started running, which is something I was never a runner. I know we've talked about it, but I started. I'm
not a fan of running.
I'll get you to come with me sometime. But yeah, I started running like out of nowhere. And when I say I started running, I want everyone to know that everyone that thinks they can't run, like when I say running, like I started running literally 20 seconds at a time, like go for a run for 20 seconds, and I had to walk for a minute or two after. It was
That's me.
Yeah, but that's how I started, because I was in such bad shape and in bad health, and that's all I could do. But you know what? I took that and then I built that up to a half marathon. And but like not everyone has to do that, but it's just the idea of like, if there is something you want, like you can do it. And a lot of people tell you that you have to do something at a certain speed or in a certain way, and I don't think there's any like running training plan that's like, go for a run for 20 seconds and then walk for 2 minutes. But you know what, it worked for me. And and so that's the kind of thing I was doing. And so I was, you know, asking myself these bigger questions, and then you know, getting my health together. And then through that I was like, there's something with health and girls and women, and I really care about that. And then through like this molded thing, then I was like, okay, something with girls, and I started getting in volunteering at one organization, got a job at another, started working for another company that works with women and does some stuff with weight loss. And so it was a couple different things that I was doing at once that all had pieces of this puzzle that I liked, and I was learning new things, and I didn't know anyone in this new field I wanted to be in that like doesn't really exist, that I was making up, but I knew it was something. So I was trying to take these puzzle pieces where I could find them and just meet new people and put it all together. And yeah, making it sound like it was easy, it's not. It wasn't.
And how long did that take you to do that?
I would say like that was like the 6 months when I was like in DC. But you know, it's still ongoing. I have my business now, but I'm still like always learning and growing and seeing like what piece am I lacking, or can I add that in. But yeah, I would say like that process of like, okay, what is it that I'm doing? How am I going to do it? And like really reaching out to people and trying to find positions was like 6 months. Okay.
And so you did all that, and you worked with a lot of non-profits, working, organizations working with girls, young girls and women.
Yep.
And then what happened?
And then, so I had these experiences, and then it was like still during this, I'm like, do I want to like still like maybe do something? Like, do I want to be involved in an organization, but like in PR? And then it was like, no, I'm really good at helping people and teaching them. And it was because I was doing that kind of coaching role like within each space without realizing I was doing it.
Oh, okay, we're back.
So I realized like, you know, I love traveling in different places, so I wanted to have something too that gave me flexibility. And I just love working with people and like helping them work through things and feel good about themselves. And I think I was like, I'm really good at helping people feel good about themselves and like actually do things that are hard and scary and difficult. And so then I was like, okay, I want to go into this. I want to do coaching and like health coaching, and I really care about food, because so many people are selling like, do this juice cleanse, do this sugar cleanse, and it's like
there's so much of that.
I know.
Don't even get don't get started. Let's not get started on that one.
Well, no, but it's so important, because I started to see these gaps and feel like I went through my own journey, and I explained the running, I lost weight, not that you have to lose weight, but all of these different things, and
you start to feel good.
I started to feel good and realize like, you know, I know how to do it and what works. And what works is listening to yourself and having, but like also having guidance from someone, like the right kind of guidance, and not like you know, there's a reason so many people struggle with these different things, and like the weight loss industry for one is so huge, and it's not because people don't know that vegetables are good for you, because they know that vegetables, you know, it's these other pieces. So I felt like there's a gap in that marketplace, and I wanted to fill that. And so that's kind of where it started to come together, being like, okay, like I did a coaching program for a year, and then during that had started my business up as well in the US with the different, because I was working with different nonprofits, and yeah, so like that's kind of the evolution of it. And yeah, like you know, sometimes it's like, just in case anyone thinks like, oh, these are Meet the Maker stories are like really cool and inspiring and exciting, but like everyone has days when like they're like, I got it all together, I'm really on top of it, I feel good, and then the next day you're like, what am I doing? Why am I not working? We were talking the other day, and I was thinking about how much I miss having a tech person, like, because I don't, you know, things, so it's like,
okay, we're back.
So anyway, life is up and down all the time, and I think having someone to help you figure that out and navigate it is really helpful. So
that is fantastic. Thank you for that. Yes, and that is what it is about, right? So because I talk about your connection this week, we were trying to figure out the connection here at the moment.
We should move into it.
So maybe because
we're going on a tour.
In case people can't hear us properly, I just have to make sure sound. Sound. So sorry, we're just moving location to get better sound quality. Hopefully it's better here. That's all right. Okay, so okay, the lighting.
The lights nice in here.
Like you're all.
This is the best spot for connection.
Okay. Connections week. Sometimes we have problem with sound quality, and I won't know this till the end.
It's okay.
So okay, let's try. Okay. Right, okay, I'm just conscious of time, and I'd love to go on about this, but one thing I really kind of want to ask is, or you to talk about, just touch on, is your work in China with those girls. What did you, like, how, you know, you did a really great, like, a project in China that I think it's just so inspiring for people to hear.
So, okay, so that was last year. I went to Southwestern China. I have a friend that has an organization there, and we went into a school, and
Southwestern China, where
Kunming, and the girls at that school are from different communities in the rural area, and they have scholarships, and they went to go to this school, and there's a lot of pressure on them to get good test grades and, you know, be perfect, and if the reality of it is, if they don't, then they're kind of, you know, they kind of are back in the situation they were
back
in.
To their home
so
village.
It's very, very focused on like work, study, which I'm sure a lot of it is in Singapore and a lot of other Asian countries as well. I mean, around the world. But so we came in for this week to kind of just give them a little bit of a reprieve, to like have fun and just like enjoy themselves and be girls.
How did you do that? Like
different things, like through improv, dance, acting, some writing exercises, some fitness stuff. And you could see the shift from them from the start of the week to like the end of the time. And it was like in little ways, like I don't speak any Mandarin, in case anyone's wondering.
You don't speak any Mandarin, but you still manage to get, you know,
because you don't always need to speak the language that other people are speaking. There's so much you can communicate, honestly, and it was it was challenging for me, because I was in a situation where everything was being translated, and I was teaching, and things were being repeated, and it was really hard. But yeah, it was great. And then so by the end, like at the beginning, a lot of the girls were afraid to talk to me because they were like they were like afraid of their English not being right. And then as the week grew on, they were more confident, and they were like asking me more questions, and like so I was like helping them with their homework, and it was really hard. I was like, oh my god, it was like this language level was like so. I was like, how are you, like, I was like, I don't even know what that word means. It's like in English, or it's like, so they're smarter than me, and they're 13, but that's fine. But yeah, just that was amazing. And then just like in general, working with girls I think is so important, because in my own life, and I think a lot of people watching this are in you, it's like your younger years are so important, and you remember things people say. You remember the significant people that come into your life and either make you feel good or make you feel horrible. And so I have those times, like, and sometimes the bad ones stand out. You know, someone like making fun of you, or just not being nice, or making you not believe in yourself. But then I also have the ones that stand out that like made me like feel good and great and confident when I was like 7, 8, 9 years old. And you remember those. And I don't want you to forget that, anyone watching this, because when you're a young girl and boy, like you remember these things. And so, I just try to be someone that can be that person to someone at a young age, and someone that's older as well, that can be like, okay, maybe I don't believe in myself in this moment, but I remember Kim told me this once, or Kim said this, and I think that if I can be that person to someone, then that makes a difference, and that makes what I'm doing worth it,
Oh, I'm gonna cry now. No, but you're so right, because a lot of who we are as an adult is a lot about our memories of our childhood and people who have touched our lives, and all those, especially in the moments when we are down, those down moments I call them, you try to go back to your younger days and try to find that positive, that bit of positivity when you were younger, to give you that extra push. And I think that's where it really, really makes a difference. So that's amazing. It's like, really, I'm like, oh, I love what you do. So okay, just tell us a little bit about what you do now. Apart from working with young girls, what else do you do?
So I do, I've got my coaching business. I do, at the moment, it's mainly one-on-one coaching. I'm hoping 2017 to do more stuff with groups, online and in-person groups, or in all the things I'm talking about, letting not trying to just compare yourself to everyone else, like not putting too much pressure on yourself to be perfect, finally feeling good about yourself and your body, and not being like, oh, I'll be happy when I lose 20 pounds, or my son's 8 years old and he's not, all of these things, or like my mother-in-law goes back and she's not fit, all of these like random things.
What is that?
No, these things that people say that that are like, I'll be happy when, and it's like, great. But like, what about today and tomorrow, the next day? And so I'm hoping to do more, because I love groups and bringing people together, as I think that's the trend of this conversation. But at the moment, it's one-on-one coaching,
and is it just
1 hour
mainly
sessions.
With women, or do you do?
I work just with women. I feel like I build a stronger connection with women, and but there are a lot of fantastic male coaches as well. I mean, if there was a guy and he wanted to work with me, I wouldn't be like, no, but I'd have the intake call and see like where it was at. But I feel like I connect with women very well. So one-on-one coaching at the moment, but hopefully 2017, watch out for more group things.
No, and I like the way you do your coaching. So it's not the people don't come to your office, but you actually do it via Skype.
Yeah, I do everything via Skype, both because a lot of people are international, but also it just takes away any excuses you might make up or have about why you can't do something. Like, oh, I have to do these errands, or I can, and it's like, because sometimes, talking about your feelings or what's going on in your life can be really hard. Sometimes it's really fun and exciting because you're planning and thinking, oh, what do I want to do next in my life, or something like that. But it can be hard, and then you make up excuses. And I find like if you just, all you have to do is open your laptop or phone or whatever, and you have Skype, then it eliminates anything and just makes it easier for both me and the person I'm working with. So big fan of technology in that way.
I'm a big fan of that. I mean, I do quite I work with some people like on Skype. I love to have chats with people on Skype, and I love how international then it becomes, because that really doesn't matter where in the world you are.
Oh my gosh,
and that connection is like regardless of boundaries or location. So that's a really, really cool thing.
I think one of the main things that I'd like to say too is like what you just said is so important, because what I want people to feel less alone and more connected. And everyone, whether they're in the US, whether they're in Singapore, whether they're in China, whether they're in India, whether they're in Switzerland, like everyone goes through the same things, and often we feel like, oh, they don't understand me because this and that, but we all understand each other, and we all, especially as women, go through the same ups and downs, and as girls go through the same ups and downs. So the more we can connect with each other, the better we are going to feel, because we'll feel less alone with everything.
Thank you. Absolutely right. Oh my God, I love that. That's exactly what I stand for. So okay,
I still
love
that we're matching.
I know. I love it. Okay, so I'd love to chat more. I'd love to go on more, but I'm just conscious of time. So I always ask this question at the end of the interview. Now, if you had one message or one thing to say to the women out there, and people out there to live the life you love, as in pursue what you really, really want to do, what would you say?
I would say to 100% trust your gut and listen to other people. but don't, like, take advice from other people and reach out to people and meet new people and have conversations, but don't let someone's advice ever change your mind. Like, take bits and pieces where you can and what suits and what you think sounds good, but don't let other people's views or what they're doing affect what you want to do. So just trust yourself and your gut and what you know is going to work for you. And that really just applies to, like, everything, like your diet and your life and your career and your family. Like, you do you. Like, oh, please don't.
Sorry, we had a phone call there. Okay, you do you, and don't worry about what others say. I love that. You do you.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Thank you.
Love you so much.
So fun to chat.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much for this chat.
Popular,
Sorry, guys. I keep having some unknown caller.
It's like sitting with the president.
No, it's not.
So popular.
Aw. All right, guys. All right, we'll see you. Thank you so much
Bye.
for